I think it's pretty safe to say that by far one of the big exciting elements of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker has all to do with, of course, how J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, and George Lucas will be exploring many different aspects of Kylo Ren's endgame as well as Rey's path in this movie, and exactly what that's going to look like at the very end of Episode 9 by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's truly exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to answer many of the burning questions from The Force Awakens, while at the same exact time, mind you, by creating brand new questions at the very beginning of this movie that's going to be ultimately answered at the very end of Episode 9. So that's another good thing to look forward to for sure, is that there will be a lot of questions that will be answered in this film, as well as new ones being created that will later be answered in the third act. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the big plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ and crew, and even George Lucas, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that it's described that during the reshoots for the months of November and December of 2018 is when George Lucas was significantly involved with the adjustments to the second and third acts of the film. It's explained that part of the rewrites that George Lucas worked heavily on was the final scene of the movie that J.J. Abrams also helped with, where it said that the final scene of Episode 9 will have to do with Anakin's legacy being the center of the last scene of the film, and that the character of Rey will have something to do with using that legacy of Anakin in a surprising way that will blow fans away. It's described that Rey is also said to obtain a brand new lightsaber at the very end of the film that is legitimately hers and not in the form of a vision, and is said to appear as a mixture between Anakin/Luke's and a brand new saber hilt. It's said that the final scene of Episode 9 is also said to involve a revision of John Williams, the Force theme that is known to many Star Wars fans around the world, that is described to fit the mood of the scene perfectly. Additionally, it's said that George Lucas wrote the lines of dialogue for the final scene, and that Disney allowed him to do this as a way to honor George and to have him be the very person to end the saga with the last sequence. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why this is very intriguing. Now, I want to go over the character of Anakin. Now, at the end of the day, we do know that Anakin Skywalker is the very center of the Skywalker saga. He is the Star Wars character that really started it all with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, really, chronologically speaking. And when we look at Episode 9, we do know that this movie is going to answer many different questions that actually were not answered in The Last Jedi, as well as really receiving new revelations that are going to really come out of left field for fans around the world. Now, the one piece that I do want to go over here is that it said that during the rewrites of Episode 9 for November and December of 2018 last year is when George Lucas was very much involved with the final scene of Episode 9 and writing out how it should actually be done, and he was actually even on set for the final scene of The Rise of Skywalker, and he even wrote in dialogue that would be used for certain characters in the last scene of Episode 9. Now, a lot of this is actually said to have to do with Anakin Skywalker's legacy and the character of Rey and how she's going to use Anakin's legacy in a very unique and unpredictable way. And on top of all of this, it said that Rey actually has a brand new lightsaber hilt at the very end of Episode 9 that is said to be a mixture of Anakin/Luke's and a brand new saber design at the same exact time. So that really does raise a lot of questions. Now, we do know that, J.J. Abrams wants to do something very special for the character of Rey. He wants to make her evolve and even tell more stories, quite possibly in the future for 2020 in the forms of books, novels, you name it. Now, mind you, this movie does have a lot going for itself, and that there are a lot of plans in place in order to really make the ending just as iconic as either the very end of Return of the Jedi or the end of Revenge of the Sith. Now, to me, I feel like in order to make it very iconic, it has to actually have a lot of emotion involved. It has to have a callback to the originals and the prequels, which is exactly what they are doing, while at the same exact time creating new elements, hence Rey's brand new lightsaber that's going to be the highlight of the last scene of Episode 9. So the only thing about this movie is that we're only getting a tease of Rey's brand new lightsaber in episode 9 at the very end of this film. Now yes, she does have a double-bladed red lightsaber in the form of a vision, so technically, quote-unquote, she has a new lightsaber in the middle of the movie, but toward the end, she is actually said to have a light side-oriented brand new lightsaber hilt that she's going to use in episode 9's ending. So that really does open up a big question. Where is she? Is this on the world of, let's say, for example, the forest moon of Endor? Or could it very well be Tatooine? Could it perhaps even be a dark side-oriented world, such as Mustafar? That's the biggest question of all. Where are we at the very end of episode 9? Now, I would like to say that we are on the planet of Tatooine because it only makes sense. We do know that JJ took a lot of notes from the prequels, and that a lot of those were being applied to episode 9. Hence, episode 3 ends on Tatooine as well. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.